We're back, and it's time to kick the tank off now that it's built. It's time to start cycling it and get it ready to have some fish. Today we're kicking off the Peninsula 25. We're getting the cycle started in here now that we have water and it all set to go. So to start it off, I'm using the Fishless Turbo Start 900. This is all the bottled bacteria that takes forever to generate in your tank. So I'm just giving it a big kickstart with adding this in right off the beginning. And it's a good thing I decided to add that in, because all the live sand that I started with, that I put in when I was building the tank, turns out I killed everything that was alive in it. So like we always say, we're reef bros, we're not reef scientists. Our buddy HCB Chemistry called out when we put in the RODI water, turns out we killed it all. So it ended up being just like we added dry sand, but it doesn't matter. The turbo start will kick us off anyway and we'll be able to keep going all great. And when adding in the turbo start, you'll see that it's getting blown around everywhere. That's because I left my return pump on and I took out the filter floss. This way the bacteria can get flowed throughout the system. I can have it established on the bio balls that are in the back of the tank. Now as the bacteria floats around and begins to settle down on the rocks, it needs food. We need to give it something to eat. So I'm adding in some ammonia here. You see that getting poured in. This will provide it as food since I don't have fish in there that are pooping yet and generating the ammonia. So that's why I'm artificially adding it in. If you want to see more details, we have it more in depth in one of our other videos where we break down the full nitrogen cycle. But just to keep it high level, fish poop, bacteria break it down so it can be safe to live in the tank. That bacteria will continue to grow from the nitrogen I added in, and it will start to colonize the rocks and the bioballs out in the back of the tank. I kept adding in the nitro cycle and then testing, adding it in until I can finally hit that target amount of 3 parts per million in the tank. That's generally the recommended amount to get it going with the cycle. So here I finally finished the test for the ammonia, got it at the starting point, and that means we can start letting it sit and we'll just monitor out the parameters throughout the week. To do this, I kept frequently testing. I did daily for the first bit and then started doing it every once in a while as it was just giving me the same results. So there we have the 3 parts per million of ammonia that we started with. As that starts getting broken down into nitrate, you can see it goes and spikes up, and then we have it kind of flatline for a little bit. Everything held solid for a little bit. I wasn't testing nitrate at this point because the test kit I was using, it converts some of the nitrate back to nitrite. So if you have nitrite in your tank, it doesn't give an accurate reading. So I waited to start testing that more until after the nitrite was gone, and until finally it took a total of 13 days to cycle my tank. So this was a nice fishless cycle, just adding in ammonia and the turbo start and getting it all ready to go.
What are you doing?
Welcome back. It's been a few days. We've been testing the tank regularly to monitor the ammonia levels, the nitrites and the nitrates, just to make sure that all that ammonia I dumped in right at the beginning is getting processed and broken down. So the levels are showing that it's safe and it's time to get things going. So to do that, I'm adding in some ecopods here. This is a blend of 4 different types of copepods. I took them, floated them around in the tank, let the water warm up, get to the same temperature as the tank so I don't throw them into shock. Normally you want to add these guys in at night. That way the fish can't see them, they can sneak their way in and get to the rock. And as you can tell, I don't have any fish in here yet. So I can dump them in. What's gonna eat them? Douglas is gonna dive in my tank and start gobbling them? No. So I'm just gonna dump them all right in.
I don't know, I might.
After doing the fishless cycle, so we didn't have to bother stressing out any fish, didn't have to hurt anybody. So that cycle went through, and the copepods will really help us just have a nice healthy culture, have the tank really perfect for getting started, because they'll just keep growing in there. So we'll have extra food for fish once we start getting them in there. It's still been a big debate about what fish I want to get. So if you have any ideas, be sure to let us know.
That's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week we have big things coming. We're gonna scrape down the walls, kind of clean it up, take out the temperature probe, because now we're actually gonna start making it a tank. Maybe fish, maybe coral, maybe a shark. You'll see next week, baby. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I need money for fish.